Welcome to my very first TBR. I'm really excited to see what books I pull from my TBR jar this month. So it is February and this is my very first time making a TBR jar, doing something like this. So I'm very excited about it. I've been watching other people do this for years and now it's my turn. As much as I love the idea of putting all the different prompts in your TBR jar, I do not currently have enough of a selection or a collection to be able to really do that and utilize it well, I don't feel like. So I just went ahead and put the names of the books that I do have. And I'm going to be showing you the collection that I have right now of TBR books. And then we are going to find out what I pull from this jar for February. So I'm really excited to get into this and to set off on this journey with you guys. Let's do it. Okay, so this is my current very professional situation where I have my TBR books. And so obviously this is not going to stay this way. I am looking at bookshelves and things like that, but I have limited space I'm working with. So right now this is what I have. And I wanted to go ahead and just run through them real quick with you. And then I'm going to be making a TBR jar so that I can choose that way. I already have 2 books that I picked for this month, so I'll show you those. And then I think I'm going to pick 4 more from these so that I start with 6 for February. So first I have Greg Iles, The Footprints of God, The Devil's Punch Bowl, and True Evil. I believe this is a series. So I think what I'm going to do for my series is when I put in the TBR jar, I'm just going to put like, you know, Greg Iles, whatever series or something like that, so that I go in order, because obviously I don't want to do it by book and have something be out of order. Then I have Forget Me Not by Vicki Hines, I'm assuming. Bring Me Back by B.A. Paris. And Scream by Mike Deloso. And then these right here are part of a series. So these are Steve Hamilton, and these are all based in Michigan, and I live in Michigan. So this is the first one I read, A Cold Day in Paradise, but it's literally been like 3 years since I read it. So I would like to reread it. So I figured I would put it in this pile. And then before I go on to Winter of the Wolf Moon and The Hunting Wind. And so those are a series that I will be putting together. Now here is a nonfiction Christian book that I want to read, Becoming a Woman Who Listens to God by Sharon Janes. So I actually met her. She came to our church and spoke one time. So interested in that. And then I have The Only Child by Katie Nunn. Dolly Parton and James Patterson, Run, Rose, Run. I found this at a thrift store this summer, and I was like, I have a weird fascination with Dolly Parton. I just think she's a fascinating woman. And so when I saw that it was a book with her and James Patterson, I was like, yeah, of course I'm getting that. Undercurrents by Nora Roberts. I have Ominous by Lisa Jackson, Nancy Bush, and Rosalind Noonan. I guess they all read it. Okay. The Good Girl by Mary Kubaika. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Vanished by Catherine Mackle, I guess, maybe. That Night by Chevy Stevens. The Defilers by Deborah Gayapong. The Third Victim by Philip Margolin. The French Girl by Lexi Elliott. Not That I Could Tell by Jessica Strasser. And then I also have the book Heaven by Randy Alcorn. So I just have 2 Christian books then in this pile. And like I said before, those will be kind of like interspersed. I think if I pulled 2 for the same month, I would put 1 back and pull something else, just because that's typically those kind of reads I only want to do kind of every once in a while. I enjoy them, but I like to be able to take my time with them. It's not like just you know, reading for fun kind of a thing. There's something I need to put more attention and time into, so I want to do them, you know, more interspersed. So I'm going to go ahead and put together my TBR jar, and then we're going to see what books I pull for February. Okay, so I made my first little TBR jar. That doesn't look like a lot in there, but there's actually 22 different book names in here. But I also had mentioned that I already chose two that I had started reading. So I'll show you those right now. They are When You See Me by Lisa Gardner, and then Dearly Beloved by Wendy Corsi Staub. So these are two of my February TBRs, but then I'm going to choose 4 more because I thought 6 is probably good for me for my first month doing this, to kind of get a gauge of how quickly I can read through things, if I think I can do more, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and shake these up, and we are going to pick the other 4 books for me for February. So I'm excited to do this. I've never done anything like this before. I mean, if you watch BookTube, you've seen this a million times, but it's new for me. Okay. So the first one is going to be That Night by Chevy Stevens, and I will pull these books out and show them to you in a second. I've got Vanished by Catherine Mackle. Okay, I have, so for how I showed you, I had those 2 series, the Greg Iles series and then the Stephen something series. Anyway, the Greg Iles series is actually called the Pen Cage Trilogy. And so I just wrote 3 different ones that said Pen Cage Trilogy because I'll start with the first one. So that, I got Greg Iles Pen Cage Trilogy, so I will pick the first book from that. And then, and I did say if I get 2 from the series, I'll throw 1 back because I don't want to do them both. And then Heaven by Randy Alcorn. Okay, so this being, that's kind of funny that I picked, I only have 2 Christian books in there, and this is one of them, which I'm totally fine with. It is a bigger book, and so I know it's something, like I mentioned, those are not like just a reading for pleasure, like sit and read. Like I put a lot more focus into those, obviously, and they just take more thought. You know, they're not just like mindless reading. Not that reading's ever mindless, but you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. But so let me pull these real quick and I'm going to show them to you. Okay, so we have That Night by Chevy Stevens, Vanished by Catherine Mackle, The Footprints of God by Greg Iles. So this is the first book in that trilogy. And then Heaven by Randy Alcorn. And as you can see, this is a pretty big book. So I think it's good that I decided to only pick 4 more from the 2 that I had already started, because I think it's going to be kind of a lot, since this is more of a book that I will be putting more like thought, you know, take more time in. So yeah, so you'll get to see at the end of my wrap up, or my wrap up for the end of February, how I do. Hopefully I get through all of these. I think I will, but this will be a good indication for me of how my reading pace kind of is. I will keep in mind then that I do have a book that's more like thought provoking, I guess, or something that might take up more of my time. So typically if I didn't have that type of book, it wouldn't take me as long. And just kind of funny that I only had 2 Christian books in the collection of my TBRs, and I got one of them this month. So, and like I said, I wouldn't do the next one next month because I don't have that many, and I kind of want to space them out anyway. And so if that's not your thing, that's okay. It's only 1 book, and we'll only be every once in a while. But otherwise, like when I'm reading, I typically want like suspense thrillers and mysteries and just fun things that are just, you know, like not super like that I really have to focus on. And so yeah, I am so excited. So that is my first, you know, my little TBR picks with my first TBR jar. And so I'm excited to fill this with many more. In fact, I am going to be doing some thrifting for books soon. So if that is something you are interested in, then I hope that you will, if you're not already subscribed, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell and put it to all so that you will get notifications when any of my videos pop up. And that way when I do my thrifting for books video, you'll get to see that and all the other stuff I have planned to do here on this channel. And if you are brand new here, hello, my name's Danielle. I'm so glad you're here. I am brand new to BookTube, and so I'm just really excited as a lifelong lover of reading to be able to create a channel where I can talk about books and be part of a community of people that I can get to know who have that same love and excitement for books that I do. I think this is just so much fun. So I am really excited about it. I am happy to be on this little adventure with all of you. And if you're already subscribed and you've seen my other video as well, and you came back, thank you so much. You have no idea what that means to me. So I look so forward to getting to know everybody. Please definitely leave me a comment down below and say hello, tell me a little bit about you, ask me any questions you might have, and also let me know if you've read any of these books and if you liked it or not. Don't give any spoilers, but just let me know if you've liked them or not. And then also if there's one of these that you're most interested in, like hearing about, the one that you're the most excited to hear, you know, my review at the wrap up. So let me know that. That would be really fun. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.